Hi, everyone. Welcome to Technology Tuesdays with a spotlight on curbside and delivery. Um, my name is Lydia Nimke, and I've been doing adult programming at the Bayview branch of the Milwaukee Public Library for the past 3 years, and I'm excited to bring you today's Technology Tuesdays on delivery and curbside pickup. With us today, we also have Beth Gabriel from the East Branch of the Milwaukee Public Library, and
Hello,
she'll be
everybody.
and she'll be keeping track of all of your questions about the materials and reading them aloud, as well as helping with any technical questions you may have. You can submit a question by typing into the chat window on the right side of your screen if you're on a computer, or by pushing the question mark somewhere near the top of your screen on your mobile device.
Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be in the background. Have a good program.
Thanks, Beth. So we will get into the presentation. Thank you all for joining us again. So today we're going to discuss the ups and downs and differences and similarities between curbside and delivery. We'll also present some options for delivery and curbside for the home, for clothes, hobbies, as well as food. Food is a big portion of today's presentation. I'll also do a short demonstration in Pick and Save, setting up curbside pickup with them, as well as through DoorDash. So through this presentation, I'm trying my hardest to put an emphasis on businesses that have brick and mortar stores in Milwaukee County or very nearby. I think there are maybe two of the stores I mentioned that are in Brookfield, but other than that, everything else is in Milwaukee County. I haven't mentioned a specific website that started as an online bookstore very purposefully because they have more than enough customers. And also, many of the options I'll mention didn't exist prior to earlier this year. So there's a chance that they will not exist at some point in the future. Okay. So curbside are orders that are placed by phone or online, packaged up by the store employees, and either put into the customer's car trunks for them, set outside for pickup, or handed to the customer outside. Of course, the specific pickup methodology will vary from store to store and from store location to location in some instances. Delivery has ordered goods that are sent by courier to the home or designated address of the customer. A subset of delivery that has emerged in recent months is no contact delivery, where the delivery person will leave your items in front of your home and give you a call letting you know they're there instead of delivering them to your hand. Both of these options are sometimes offered for free or free with a minimum purchase of X amount of dollars, and some can tote a pretty hefty fee. It all depends on the vendor, really. Curbside is generally more likely to be free or with a smaller added charge, while delivery can vary greatly. One cool thing about curbside is it's generally available the same or next day. There's no waiting for long periods of time or hoping that your packages aren't stolen while you're at work, which is a big concern of mine. There are also going to be a lot of options today that fit into more than one category, as well as having the additional category of in-store pickup, which we're not really talking about today, but it's another viable option to minimize time spent indoors. I will try and let you know if there are any that have one and not the other, or that have both, as best I can. If I happen to not mention it for one you're particularly interested in, please let me know through the questions panel and I will make sure to let you know. All right. So I will say, going into this, there's no specific endorsement from the library for any of these businesses or services. Anything that I may say is good or that I liked is my own personal opinion. So you can take that as what you will. So, in our first category for the home, we'll be looking mostly at renovation and repair stores that offer curbside pickup and delivery. There are some decor and design stores in there included as well that are worth noting. So, we have Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Blifford Lumber, and Lowe's that all offer curbside pickup and delivery um, for all of your, tools, your lumber, painting supplies, all of that sort of thing. And then we also have BBC Lighting and Floor and Decor. BBC Lighting is just as it sounds, it's a big lighting warehouse, and Floor and Decor has floor options and, a variety of decor options for the home. So with all of these, you'll definitely want to call, especially if you're planning a project around the materials that you will get for them, like you are taking all the furniture out of your guest room to turn it into a nursery or something to that effect, and you have ordered the paint and the paintbrushes from Home Depot. You want to call and make sure that you'll have everything you need for your project at the start of the weekend or whenever. Policies can vary from location to location, of course. Also, just as a tip, I've run into this several times in my own adventures. Be sure that you have a big enough car to carry your materials. It could be an issue depending on the store or its policy to break your order up if you need to do repeat trips. But you can always call the store and ask for specific guidance on this. So for clothes, of course, all of these clothes stores have offered delivery for as long as they've been on the internet, basically. But these ones have recently added the additional service of curbside pickup at a lower cost than the shipping and handling often. So Kohl's, Old Navy, The Gap, Macy's, JCPenney, Urban Outfitters, those are just a couple that I was able to find, but there are a lot more that offer this. You'll definitely want to check their website. So when you're shipping things to your home with these stores, it'll come with a definite shipping and handling fee. And again, it may be free after the first $50 you spend, but you'll want to take note of that. So you're not surprised when they bill you. Moving on to hobbies. Hobbies are varied, of course, so they are split further into a couple of different categories here. So under craft supplies, we have Michael's, which is great for general artsy hobbies, school project supplies, seasonal decor, and activities. We also have Blick art supplies, which is great for more specific artistic hobbies and endeavors like screen printing, oil painting, sculpture. And the great thing about Blick and why I personally shop there is they often have like actual artists who are skilled at using the materials there to help guide you through the purchase process. I actually had a gentleman, I think he was the manager, actually tell me to put something back and get something cheaper because as a beginner, I wouldn't need the more expensive item. So I just thought that was a really, really great bit of customer service on his part. I've always gotten amazing customer service at Blick, and now they do curbside pickup. And Joanne Fabrics also is the best for sewing and needlecraft hobbies, of course. They have a huge selection of fabrics and sewing machines and patterns, but it also offers a good supply for other general artsy type hobbies. So for board games and other hobby shops, Game Universe is a game and hobby store with a lot of trading card games, sort of that milieu, and a lot of board games as well. Ruckus and Glee is a toy game and puzzle store with items for all ages. I know I've been doing a lot of puzzles. Learning Express Toys offers games and toys for kids, but these toys have a focus on education and creativity. So for tech and video games, GameStop and Best Buy both offer curbside pickup, as well as they will ship your items to your home for you. GameStop has consoles, collectibles, and video games, old and new. You can also take your old video games and old consoles and trade them in to get a new item. And at Best Buy, they have all the same things as GameStop for the most part, but also electronics and computers, appliances, cell phones, and more new tech, VR type things. Moving on to reading materials, Half Price Books, Barnes& and Noble, and the Milwaukee Public Library all offer curbside pickup. Half Price Books, of course, has new and used books, puzzles, games, records, and music. Barnes& and Nobles has more or less the same thing, toys and games, movies as well. The Milwaukee Public Library offers curbside service at the Bayview Branch, East Branch, Tippecanoe Branch, and the Washington Park Branch. More information on exactly how to access it is included in the handout, but in general, you'll place your holds on your library account, and once you get the notification that your holds are ready for you, you'll call the curbside line at that branch, and whoever answers the phone will check out your materials to you and put them in, run them outside, verify your identity quick, and put them in your trunk. It's really simple, really easy, and can avoid, some of our locations have capacity requirements now that are getting bumped into, so that can help you get your items and get on your way. At some libraries in the greater McFlist system, the suburban libraries, you can also check out video games and board games. So if anyone is interested in learning more about this, I can show you how to search for them in the catalog. They're under the puzzles and games format, I believe. All right, so we've made it to the food. In food, we'll be discussing the pickup and delivery options for restaurants, grocery, and meal kits. So for your restaurant options, you're wanting, Chinese food delivered, or you're wanting a pizza from your local pizzeria to come to you. These are 5 apps here that will facilitate that interaction. So these apps are all part of that up and coming like gig economy, where people who want to pick up some extra money by delivering food can grab those jobs as they come in, and restaurants who might not necessarily have the infrastructure to pay a dedicated delivery driver to wait for there to be a delivery can have that facilitated through these applications and websites. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, Eat Street, and Grubhub are all available in the Milwaukee area. I've also included a link to the Shepherd Express article that mentions what restaurants do delivery and curbside pickup. It's updated regularly, and you can order by starting with the website of the restaurant, or you can order by starting with the application that you see listed here. Whichever way you start, you'll end up with the same result, food delivered to you. So with these apps and services, though, you do have to be especially cognizant of those delivery fees I mentioned earlier. A $10 meal could easily turn into a $20 meal and not even include a tip for your driver. So to defray some of that cost, you could check for the coupons. I know DoorDash especially mails me a coupon at least once a month. Or you can search for coupon codes online. All of the applications here also offer the no contact delivery option currently. But please note that this can be difficult for the delivery person if you live in an apartment or multifamily home. They'll often want to verify in some respect that the correct person is receiving the correct food so they don't end up with a bad rating. In that case, you can just ask them to call, poke your head out your window and be like, hey, it's me, I'm here. You can leave it, and they'll leave it and be on their way. So for curbside grocery pickup options, I've included 2 large chain grocery stores at the top and our local community staples at the bottom. So of course, under the Roundy supermarkets, we have Pick and Save, Metro Market in the Milwaukee area. We also have Sendix that does curbside pickup options. And in full disclosure, there are more in every category that will do curbside pickup for you. Um, and locally, we have Glorioso's, which offers curbside pickup as well as delivery to the neighboring area. So if you're on the east side, it's worth checking out their website and see if they'll deliver to you, how much it costs. And we also have Grappies that will offer you curbside pickup. We'll be going over Pick and Save specifically in the demo portion of today. So Instacart is an application and a website that has quite a large stake in the Milwaukee area, where customers pay a fee to have their shoppers purchase their items for them and deliver them to their home. Instacart is used at all of these stores in Milwaukee. So if you go to any of these stores' websites and select the deliver option, it's run through the Instacart system in many cases. This is another system where you can choose the interface you're the most comfortable with and end with the same result: groceries, goods being delivered to your home. A special note on Target, Walmart, and Meijer: they fit into almost every category, and they're, very, very big guys. I included these in groceries because they all have large grocery sections, of course, but they also have books to read, puzzles to do, crafting supplies, many basic home and auto repair items, clothes, and a pharmacy. So if you're looking to do as much one-stop shopping as possible, these are all options that feature a variety of goods from all different categories and offer you your curbside pickup. And now to meal kits. A meal kit is a subscription-based service where a company sends customers pre-portioned and sometimes partially prepared food ingredients and recipes to prepare home-cooked meals. Customers can choose from a set of pre-selected recipes to receive on a given week, or skip weeks where they'll be out of town, where nothing looks that good that they want to make themselves, or they know they're not going to have enough time to cook the food. Milltown Eats and The Real Good Life are both locally owned and operated, and they are really competitively priced to the big guys below. Blue Apron and HelloFresh both have a huge range of recipes created by world-class chefs, and they have the ability to add things on like wine and cheese to supplement. And again, this is another category where there are tons and tons of options. Not all of them have made it to Milwaukee yet, but there are still tons of options that are available to us here in Milwaukee. So if you're interested, I definitely would say to try them out. A lot of them offer deals to new customers, so you can kind of use the deal, let it run for a month or so, use the deal at another place to kind of figure out which one you like best. A lot of them offer dietary restrictions, so if you're trying to do Whole30 or if you're vegan or you eat gluten-free, they will work with that and only give you foods that fall within that dietary restriction. All right. Are there any questions before we move on to our demonstrations?
So far, it doesn't look like there are any questions. I've definitely learned about some new options. Oh, here comes one. Who has their hand raised? Oh, I don't see a question. Oops. Looks like Gail has a question, but I don't see a question in the box. Gail, can you type your question in the question box? Or can I unmute Gail?
We can unmute Gail if she's comfortable with that.
Well, Gail, you go ahead and type your question and I'll just read it when you're ready.
All right, feel free to interrupt. Okay, so while we are getting our question, we will move on to the demo portion. So here I am, I'm at pickandsave.com. Nothing too fancy about that. I'm already all logged in because I already have an account for ordering curbside and for pickup at Pick and Save. So this is what your homepage will look like once you're all logged in and ready to go. Over on the left-hand side, we can access the menu to browse the items by department. So if I, for example, wanted to look at the seafood offerings, I could shop all seafood and I'll click shop all again, or I can look at just the featured items. There. So we can see, and this is kind of what shopping looks like. Grocery shopping looks like online now. So when you're browsing for items, you'll most likely have a list or something. You'll know what items you need and you'll go through them. But as you go through each item, I would always flick this panel from products to coupons to just see what coupons are available for that area. Didn't seem to work too great on seafood, but the point is to know that all of the coupons you would use in store are similarly available to use online. So if I needed bread and I knew that's all I needed and I didn't want to do a whole lot of browsing, I could type in bread, and there's the bread I actually buy. So I'll switch on over to coupons, and now I'm seeing coupons for bread. And what you can do is just clip that coupon and it will be applied to your cart when you add the item in question. So if I want to add that item, I can click on it and it'll show me all the products that qualify for that coupon. So I can add that to my cart and then I get my 50 cents off. So if we go back to the home, we'll see our cart's been updated. There's another item in my cart and you'll kind of see a little picture of all the items along the side there. So once I go back to the home page, I can also easily view the weekly ad, just like I would in the store, to see what's on sale, see what they have really good deals on. And I think it's so cute that when you look at the item and say, oh, Skinny Pop is on sale, awesome. I can add it to my shopping list. And then once I go back, it's circled. I just think that's a neat little feature. So yeah, you can browse through the whole weekly ad and see what items interest you from the ad. And when you click on an item, it goes to your list. So if I go to my account where it says my name and go down to the bottom of the menu, I can see all of the items that I have added to my list here. There's that Skinny Pop we just ordered. So I still have to add them to my cart. So you can either copy and paste or just type and you'll see that there. And lovely enough, it has the coupon listed underneath. So you can press add coupon and add it to cart. So a note on if you see that it says ways to buy instead of add to cart. Ways to buy essentially means that it has to be shipped, that it's not in stock at your local store. So you have to have it shipped. It may also say in-store purchase only. For whatever reason, that item is not available for curbside pickup or delivery, whatever option you're under. Okay. So we've added things to our cart. We viewed the weekly ad and added things to our cart from there. Now we're actually going to go look at the shopping cart. Yep, I am doing pickup. So pickup is currently free for my store, but delivery is coming in at $10. All right, and shipping is not just at my local store, but there is a $35 minimum. All right, so here are all the items I added to my cart recently. And we are getting pickup. So they're doing the shopping and they're going to bring it to my car. I can change it to delivery right here. I'll just have to input my address. It's an easy enough change if you all of a sudden don't want to go pick up your items anymore. So I'm just going to click show all items. And we can see right now that I'm allowing substitutions for out of stock items. So that is something to take note of because it frustrates people who do curbside for the first few times. I have this selected. So the person who's doing the shopping for me, if they find that they don't have Frigo shredded Parmesan cheese, this option down here, they might get me Frigo grated Parmesan cheese, or they might get me the store brand shredded Parmesan cheese. It's kind of up to their discretion. If you don't want substitutions, you can definitely uncheck that, but you might be missing a bunch of your groceries. Or if you've decided you don't want substitutions for a specific item, say for example, I'm really excited to have my apple cider, but I don't want any other brand besides Lighthouse Gala apple cider blend, I can uncheck allow substitutions for this particular item. And say I will allow substitutions, but I don't know if diet apple cider is a thing. This is just the example I have. I don't want diet apple cider. So I can say no diet substitutions. And they will abide by that instruction. So that is all saved right now. It looks good to me. I'm good with substitutions on everything else, but I don't want diet. Our next step is to press this checkout button, and here is where I schedule my pickup order. So there are a lot of time slots throughout the day. I think they go from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., it looks like. Yep. So you could set this up to pick your groceries up right after work and be on your way home. No muss, no fuss. So if I wanted to pick tomorrow at this time, I'll press reserve, and tomorrow, October 28th, between 3 and 4 p.m. is my pickup time. So you wouldn't want to arrive before this pickup time at all. They're generally doing your grocery shopping like in the hour before your pickup time. When you are all done scheduling this, you pay. It's pretty a general web form to enter your payment information. They only take credit and debit while you're placing your order. They don't take any money on the scene. You'll want to look for pickup signs in your parking lot and pull into the parking spot. They're numbered. And then they'll always have the phone number like right on the curbside pickup sign if they have it set up, in a specific way. Most large grocery stores will have the curbside number right on the sign of the designated spots. You'll call the number and let the whoever answers know, "Hi, I'm Lydia Nimke. I'm here to pick up my order." And they'll bring your order out. They'll load it into your car. You don't need to get out of your car at all. And that's about it. They'll probably hand you a receipt that looks like a packing slip. It'll be like a full-size sheet of paper. And they'll let you know if they had to do any major substitutions. But other than that, that's about it. And your curbside pickup is done. It's pretty easy. Are there any questions about Pick and Save's curbside pickup?
All right. While you were doing this, we had a couple questions roll in. One is kind of general. What is a customary tip for delivery service people? And that's from Gail. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gail. Depends on what you normally tip, I suppose. I tip delivery drivers just like I would tip a waiter at a restaurant. I don't know if that's correct, but I have this terrible fear of under tipping someone who is depending on the money. So I tip them like 15, 20%, 20% always, basically. If they were on time, not like, 2 hours past when I ordered, I'll pretty much always tip them 20% at least. More if they're nicer, less if they were like mean on the phone or something. I don't know. That's hard. Thank you for the question though, Gail. Definitely tip your delivery drivers though, some amount. Do you have an idea on this, Beth, at all, or preference?
Let's see. I'm looking up to see if there is like an industry standard that I can share.
Okay.
So I will do a little research in the background. Personally, especially during these times, I'm tipping 20 to 25%.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, if the service is good, they bring me my stuff. It's all looking good. A lot of the apps and things that I've used, if they're bringing it to my door, if I'm driving to Pick and Save to pick up my stuff, I don't tip quite that much. I will try to give the person who runs my stuff out just a small cash tip.
Yeah.
If it helps everybody. But let me look up some standard, see if there's any standards that I can find.
Thank you.
Yeah, another question, is a credit card needed for these services, or how will they do cash? How is payment typically handled? From Mary.
Sure, absolutely, Mary. It's generally a credit card is required for this. The one exception is if you're getting curbside pickup at a restaurant. but even some of the restaurants are just not accepting cash right now because of these odd times and the change shortage, which I guess is still a thing. So yeah, credit card kind of really is needed for the curbside pickup and delivery, but always call and ask or go through their FAQs because it's worth a shot, you know. They want your money regardless, absolutely. So it's always worth a shot. Thank you for the question.
Let's see. Mary would also like to know, how do they handle ID when you're buying alcohol? Interesting that they would be able to sell it without an ID.
Absolutely. So I have done this once, and they just check your ID before they put it in your car. Um, they ask to see ID and verify as they would, and then they will actually put it in your car. It's pretty interesting, and they do make a point to say, I need to check your ID before I can actually transfer this into your possession. Thank you for the question, Mary.
Yeah. Petra also asked about tipping, which we covered. And Carol is asking, I received a gift certificate for Uber Eats, but don't know how to proceed. Can we contact you individually at your convenience about this?
Absolutely. When I send the follow-up email, Carol, I believe, yeah. When I send the follow-up email, Carol, you can reply back to that email and we'll get in touch. And I'm more than happy to walk you through, the setup for that. Cool gift certificate. Good gift from
That's
whoever
awesome.
got it for you.
Very cool. Okay. Mary is asking, if you order produce or meat, can you specify quantity? Like I want, or quality, like I want green bananas or very lean meat.
Absolutely. Yes, you can. So in this area where we put no diet substitutions, that's also a great area to say, oh, I don't have any fruit in here. It's also a great area to say green bananas or I would like a lean cut, something along that nature. But know that green to me might not be green to you. So you're really relying on their discretion. But you can definitely give them those special instructions. They get a list printed out that lists the item they want and your instructions right next to it. So you can say those particular things as well. Thank you for the question. Great question.
Right. Okay. And then there's a question. The webinar is being recorded, so are they accessible after the live session? That's from Gail.
Yes, they are. So what I do is I send a follow-up email that includes the handout as well as the recording of this presentation for everyone to access on their own time and review as they see fit. Thank you for asking.
Okay, and Carol just said thank you about reaching out via email, which you will do, Lydia.
Of
And
course.
then just to the group, I put an article on tipping during the pandemic, a tipping guide from HuffPost in the chat box. So you can click on that and read it when you have some time. If you don't want to read it, basically they're suggesting tipping to the point of pain unless you are in certain categories, like you're in a fixed income, etc. So you can take a look at that. But generally about 10 to 20% is good, and more if you can afford it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good to have some validation. I'm always very nervous around tipping.
Me too, but I always figure if I'm not willing to go out and get it myself and they are, I'm going to give them some money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All
All
right, so
right.
we'll move on to just briefly DoorDash demonstration. It's going to be relatively similar for DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, all of those guys I mentioned on that slide. So up at the top, I'm all logged in here. I've used this before. So up at the top, we have the different categories of food. So if you're really in the mood for sandwiches or chicken or Mexican, you can select that and it'll just show you the options for that category, which is very cool. In general, for your first order on these delivery services, they'll waive the delivery fee. There are often specific restaurants that will waive the delivery fee on your first order with them. So take note of that as well. And then there are also restaurants that always have a no delivery fee, like Chubby's Cheesesteaks, Champion Chicken, and there are other deals that they'll show you on the homepage. So you can browse around and see what you're in the mood for. If you have something particular that you know you want to eat and you know is available on DoorDash, go in there, you can search for it and bring it up. So I'll kind of simulate ordering for you from Shake Shack. It's one of my favorite newer restaurants downtown. And let's say I just wanted this Chicken Shack. You change all your options if you want to. Lettuce wrap, toppings, condiments, things of that nature. And you can list any allergies you may have. Shake Shack in particular is really good about allergy listings. But of course, if you have any food allergies, let them know in the special instructions. And if it's a very serious food allergy, you might just want to call and verify that they understand that you have an allergy. Okay, so I'll add that to my cart and say that's all I wanted. So I'll go to checkout. So we can either ask for our delivery to be delivered as soon as possible, and they give us a time estimate of when that will come. It's 23 to 33 minutes right now. It varies throughout the day, of course. It'll be more time around lunch and dinner time, and less time in the middle of the day, like now. And you can also schedule it for later, and then it'll ask it when you want that. So you could schedule your dinner to be delivered while you're at work if you wanted to. Also, here we have it's being delivered to my library right now, and we can edit the drop-off instructions. So the drop-off options are either you ask for the delivery person to hand it to you, or you ask them to leave it at your door, which is that no contact delivery I mentioned. You can also provide them with some special instructions. Call upon arrival, ring the bell and leave it on the porch and then you can leave, things like that. And you can save these options so that it stays the same for no matter what you order. From any restaurant, it'll be the same. Leave it at my door, call upon arrival, etc. Okay. Of course, you'll add your payment method and all that. But what I really want to bring your attention to is over here. So, my sandwich was under $7. The delivery fee for Shake Shack is $5. The fees and estimated tax, which includes a small order fee, a service fee that goes to DoorDash, and the actual tax. And we are at and a tip to the driver, of course. They say 100% of the tip goes to the driver. So we're at $18.69 for a $7 sandwich. And that is what I mean by DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. They're all great. They're all really awesome, and I'm glad we have them. I use them. But you do want to be really cognizant of that delivery fee, making your food more expensive than it needs to be. Maybe you want to try for curbside pickup instead. But this is just a great option to have in your arsenal if you don't have access to your vehicle or really can't get out of the house. That is a great option that will bring your food to you. Okay? And so that's DoorDash. It's really simple to use once you just get kind of used to checking for the delivery fees and that sort of thing. All right. So we'll get back into our presentation. Any questions? Of course, I'll be willing to answer them as they come in. But that pretty much concludes our presentation on today's topic. I'm happy to show you any other of the options I mentioned. If you're really curious and interested about one, I might not have accounts on all of them, but I can show you kind of what the interface looks like. Just let me know.
No questions so far since our last ones.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
All right. So I do want to talk a little bit about Tech Tuesdays. Thank you all so much for coming today. I've noticed some repeat names and some new names, and it's always exciting to share things I'm interested in with patrons of my library. For the past 2 weeks, we've done Tech Tuesdays on connecting with neighbors online and online learning resources. So if you would like to view the recordings to these or other Tech Tuesdays presentations that you weren't able to attend, let me know and I'll be happy to provide that information, a recording link in the handouts to you. You can view all of the Tech Tuesdays so far and more adult programming on the Milwaukee Public Library's YouTube channel. In the next 2 sessions, which are our last of the series, we'll be doing walkthroughs in online classifieds and fun and novel ways you can use Zoom for holiday gatherings this year. I hope some of you will join us for these programs as well. I will be emailing the handout and a recording of today's presentation in a follow-up email tomorrow. Again, I'm Lydia, and I want to sincerely thank you all for joining me today and for any other Tech Tuesdays you came to. I'll stick around for the next minute or so to answer any questions, but have a wonderful rest of your day and week, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I see your question, Petra, and I'll get that to you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.